I remember that line, and it's always been one that I've liked, and it's that don't attribute malice to what can be answered with stupidity. Stupid's forgivable. Malicious, fuck you. It's very simple. Like if you made a malicious attack, noted, you may not need to be someone that I deal with. Like if you operate out of that, and then realize, is it malicious or are they fucked up too? Are they in some weird spot that they're just lashing out and drowning? There's a difference. Malicious intent means someone set out to say, fuck you, Matt Vincent. That's it. It's not that they inconvenienced me or that their shit wasn't a problem. There's some spillover, bad decisions that occasionally get all of us. But did that person set out to cause me a direct problem? And if so, that is a person I will no longer deal with and I will treat accordingly. Outside of that, let me work on trying to communicate better. If that person is someone who continues to prove after intention has been cleared and all these type of things, then maybe distance need to be taken care of. But again, I'm not giving them any of that daily energy of being frustrated by them. By that point, like, yeah, I know I'm dealing with this type of person. They're not going to change. The only thing I can change is how I react to it. And that's what it seems like you've done. I mean, you fixed you instead of altering them needing to alter their life to make you more comfortable. You changed it. So fucking great work, dude. Josh.
Right, Dale.
Yeah, there were two big assumptions that really hit me this week. One, the very simple one. I've been working through my MBA for the last 2.5 years and just finished it up. And when I finished it, there was that feeling of, okay, well, fuck, what now?
Congratulations, you're in step one.
Right. And I recognize it, talking to people last weekend and talking to some of the other group people this week, I came to realize that I had this assumption in my head that once I finished, shit would just magically happen.
Nope.
And having that kind of hit me in the face this week of, oh, wait, no, I actually have to put forth effort and take steps, intentionally taking steps forward to change things. Like that.
Buying a hammer does not
was
make
a big
you a
shift.
carpenter.
No, it does not. And kind of pairing with that, forever, I've told myself that I am not a leader, that I'm very introverted and I'm best just in the background. And again, having conversations last weekend and with, really diving into some of the shit with some of the other group members this week, some things have popped up that I've told myself that, but then I also recognize things about myself that I have no problem speaking in people or being the first one to jump into a situation and just going for it. And recognizing that, fuck, maybe I've been lying to myself for 33 years and I am more of a leader. I am more extroverted. I am more take charge than I originally thought. Pairing those two things together, I had this assumption that shit would just magically happen. And I've had this assumption that I'm not a leader and I'm not the person who is out front. Those assumptions are wrong. Now I have a much better idea and image of what I need to do moving forward.
Dude, that's great. And that's huge. That realization. I mean, man, I think a lot of us end up, and that's kind of, an overarching piece of what the group is about is I think there's so much time in life that, well, once I get there, I'll get this. And once I get there, this will be figured out. Or once I do that, things will be fine. That you think there's this. So honestly, one of the weirdest ways I think about this is a very early on assumption that I remembered having of once I do this, things are different. And I really expected tomorrow I will wake up and the world will look different, brighter colors, different thing, all that. So the very first time I remember that, I really thought getting laid the first time was going to do that. This was something I had put big emphasis and weight on, and I really assumed that like, yo, tomorrow or whatever the day after that, I am now someone who can see the world differently from the perspective of someone who's been laid before. And just it didn't happen, right? It was just another day that came, and it was another experience that added to it. And that's all it ever really is. There's never going to be that like, oh shit, I got the job, now things are different. Oh shit, I got the travel show with Indian motorcycles, now things are going to be different. They're not. It's a cool job. Nothing in my world has changed. There isn't some added coolness that's come on the backside of it that I didn't create. That's no different than I wrote a book. I thought things would change. I won a world championship. I thought things would change. They don't. They're all just things. Like the only change, it's got to be you and how you react to stuff. The change has to be there. You know, so much of it is falling on that path of, well, I don't really like what I'm doing, but when I get to this, I'm sure I'll fall in line. I'm sure I'll feel better. I'm sure I'm assuming about myself that I'll like X once I get there. Because everyone has said getting that solves problems, whether that is the degree, whether that's get the house, whether that's get married, whether that's any of the standard, you know, standard life plan, as kind of we've referred to it, that is supposed to get you the fulfillment and thing that you want, and then feeling bad that you don't feel that way when you have on paper everything. Like on paper everything doesn't mean shit if it ain't what you want. You know what I mean? Like, you know, an infinite supply of pizza is great unless you're lactose intolerant. And then you're just going to shit your pants your entire life based on someone else's favorite meal. Like, so don't build the rest of your life according to that either. Just because, you know, this thing provides someone else their happiness, their fulfillment, the life they dreamed about, or that it was supposed to fulfill yours. It was supposed to be this key that you're looking for. It was supposed to be this piece. It isn't.